see how the 1098 does. I haven't ridden this bike on a canyon road in a while. These tires are actually a couple of years old. Been sitting a lot. I think I got them installed. Yeah, it was in late 2011, maybe early 2012, before I moved to Maryland. Well, we'll see. Last time I rode the bike, it felt like it was sliding a little bit. Mostly the rear. Gonna do a rundown Ortega and just get a feel for the bike again. Move around on this Ducati and just slide right over into the out position. And honestly, at almost 18,000 miles, the transmission clicks through the gears really easily. But it lacks all the niceties of the Diavel. It doesn't have a gear indicator, doesn't have ABS, doesn't have traction control. So it's a pretty wild ride. I haven't had a dyno, but I do have Tune Boy on this bike as well. And it completely eliminated the stalling issue that the bike had new. Go with the unattentive drivers. Get through and get a clear spot. So, it's a wild ride. I've actually had it wheelie on me as I shifted into third, hard on the throttle. And I have had it up to that 173 top speed, which is a bit crazy. Of course, I was way out in the middle of nowhere. Not in California. And this is also the bike that I did that 1,100 mile ride overnight from Dallas to Ohio in a rainstorm. There was lightning and shit going on. I had about 50-foot visibility for sections. It was just a mess. But it handled it like a champ. Didn't have a single issue. Of course, the bike was basically brand new at the time. I broke it in over a weekend, put 500 miles on it, and the following weekend I rode all the way up to Ohio. The thing I learned on that trip was that if you don't have good noise-canceling headphones, you get exhausted a lot faster. You will have a tendency to lose focus. Your ears will be ringing like crazy, and it just bogs you down and makes you tired. It actually took me 3 days for the ringing in my ears in that trip north to stop. I just felt like crap for 3 days straight. And then on the way back, before I left, I made sure to buy, well, on the way up I had Bose earbuds. They had kind of this soft, rubbery material, It wasn't like a foam insert that completely seals your ear. So of course they were kind of falling out and moving around and didn't get a very good seal, which was exhausting because I constantly had the rush of the wind noise deafening me. So on the way back, I stopped at Best Buy on the way out of town. I bought a pair of Shure, I believe it was the E3Cs. They're like $200, $150 to $200 earbuds. And I've since gotten, I don't know the model that I have now, but they have the inline microphone and volume controls. They also have the replacement cords. So now I've got those. And man, on the way back down to Texas, it was a night and day difference. Like, I was not exhausted. Of course, it probably helped that it wasn't raining and thundering and just shitty the entire way. But I also didn't have my ears ringing for 3 days straight after I got back. And I didn't have any of the muscle aches and pains as much. But I just felt pretty good. I was able to go straight back to grad school without much recovery time needed. Oh, the bike's feeling pretty good. It's actually the guys at SBK Corsa that tuned up the suspension for me. Got the preload and everything set back in, God, it was 2009-ish. They used to be at the Lake Forest dealership. And then when those guys closed, they just went off on their own and made their own shop. So they actually got their dyno installed. And I'll probably be getting the Diavel over there on the dyno next month, probably early next month, maybe another paycheck. I'm trying to budget as much as possible until the baby comes and my wife gets a job out here. Oh, hopefully that makes a big difference with the Diavel's fueling. It's pretty good as it is. It made a huge difference putting a Tune Boy on it. But I still get a tiny little bit of hesitation when I'm at neutral throttle at low speeds and I crack it open. It kind of wants to do a little pause. So I'll be getting the bike on the dyno. Got the rear sets installed. Fuel cap. Installing the rear sets though made me realize that I really should get a reservoir. Because that plastic cup just, it stands out really bad now. So comparing and contrasting the Diavel to the 1098. This bike obviously does not have this comfortable riding position. You are in kind of a race hunched over riding position. But compared to a lot of other super bikes I've ridden, or just sat on, it has a decent reach to the bar. Your legs aren't like way up in your chest. You don't feel like you're perched up on top of something. It's kind of an intermediate riding position. Like the 675 Triumph Daytona is way more punched up. Granted, it's a smaller bike, but you definitely feel it. This one's not too terrible. My back's kind of used to it, but for people that aren't used to riding sport bikes in this hunched over riding position, it can be kind of killer on the back. But you just get into a nice, comfortable slouch. It's not too bad. Keep your arms bent, up the tank with your knees. I've got these stomp grip pads on the sides attached to the carbon fiber tank pad. We got this wraparound carbon fiber tank pad from a company called G-Long Carbon Craft, I think is what it's called, in Australia. It's a pretty good price. It's not super thick, but it wraps completely around and fills in the sides of the fuel tank. So it gets good coverage and it looks cool. It's genuine carbon fiber. I just can't stand faux and fake carbon fiber shit. It just looks like crap. It looks cheap. Let me hear ya. We'll see how this goes. Probably going to break this up into parts because this ride can last, I think it's about an hour and a half, 45 minutes to get to the end of Ortega and 45 minutes back home. So I'm just going to try to do a highlights reel. So I'll see you guys in the twisties.